blues in the basement.
But please don't mess with my name. Drop that zero.
Are you ready?
Stay away from hotels and motels where the walls are
What?
paper thin. Everybody got a groove, and this is my groove, yo. Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Miss
put your hands
Denise
together for the queen
LaSalle.
of blues, Miss Denise LaSalle.
We've got a legendary blues artist with us today, Denise LaSalle. How you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. So how's life treating you now? I mean, you've been in the business for a long time. Are you out there working right now?
Well, no. I'm in Memphis to rehearse with my band. I'll be up here rehearsing, and I'm also in the studio working on another album.
Ooh.
What studio are you in?
Everybody know about Royal Studio.
Yes, ma'am.
You've done a lot of
If we were in Memphis, we would know.
You've done a lot of your recordings at that studio, haven't you?
That's right. Everybody know that my first big gold record was recorded right at High Studio.
So you have a love for Memphis, huh?
Yes, I do.
So Denise, can you tell us what's your path been like when it comes to being a female in a male-dominated business?
It was wonderful for me. It was a surprise for me because I didn't start out trying to be a recording artist. I started out, after I got the surprise of my life, when I started out writing songs, trying to write songs to give to other artists. I never thought that my voice was good enough to record. So I just did a demo to send to someone else. And when the people at Chess Record heard my voice, they requested that I come down there and let them do something with me in the studio. And I finally agreed to go. I was afraid at first. When I finally agreed to go down there, we did some things and they liked me and signed me to a contract. However, they had so many big artists down there that it just exploded, like Mitty Collier and Jackie Ross, Selfish One, the one she did, the big record from her. And then they had Etta James and all those people. And they really never got around to really recording me. And for 1 year, I sat there waiting to be recorded. But it gave me time to go out and get some experience on stage, because when I knew that I was going to cut a record, I got interested in going out trying to sing in front of an audience. So it gave me a year's start. By that time, I had got it down where I wasn't afraid anymore and wasn't shy about anything. And so I just asked them for a release from my contract. And, of course, they didn't want to do it. I said, well, no, I've been here for a year. You asked me the 1-year contract with options. I said, so I'm going to take the option and opt out. Because you haven't done anything in a year, so I want out. So they gave me out. The guy that brought me to them took me in the studio and I cut a record called A Love Reputation.
Right.
This was the year 1963. And it came out with a big bang. And, I mean, it was a hit across the country in areas, not everywhere. Because this young man's label wasn't strong enough to put it out there all over. But everywhere he placed it, it was a big hit. The Chess purchased it from him and took it to Europe. They went to Europe with it. They had all the European market, and we didn't even know that it was in Europe. They didn't even tell us it was over there.
Wow.
Well, we just thought they bought it and didn't do anything with it. Guess what I found out? When I recorded Trap Out Thing Called Love in 1971 and got a big hit record and was sent to Europe to do a concert in Europe. Went over there and found my name all over the place.
We're talking to Denise LaSalle. Of course, that hit Trapped by a Thing Called Love was a huge. We're still playing the dance for that one,
Oh, yeah, that was the one that with the big bang. The Love Reputation just made a little noise. It was just a little noise. But Trap was like an earthquake.
Miss LaSalle, I have a question for you. I was looking this up in Psychology Today and Glamour Magazine, and all these different people want to tell us what it means to be a lady in the street but a freak in the bedroom. We want you to tell us what it really means. Break it down for them because they don't understand.
Come on, storyteller. Come on
and tell us the story.
First
of all, tell us the story. How did you come up with this song?
That was from someone else. A guy told me one day that was what he wanted. He liked a lady who, it's okay to be a lady. He said, but you know, I don't want a lady to be a lady when she goes to bed. I want her to be a freak in the bedroom. He said, but when I take her out, I want her to show all the qualities of a lady.
All right now.
Be feminine, dainty, and all those things.
Right.
But when you come into my bedroom, you turn into a freak. and we decided that we would cut that. You know, I said, I'm going to write that song. And I wrote it, and there it was.
Well, on behalf of us ladies, we thank you.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, I got something else coming out for the ladies.
Uh-oh.
I got, at my age now, I think I can do this.
Okay.
My new album is, the title of my new album is Cougar on the Loose.
All right.
Uh-oh.
You can get a lot of airplay on that one, aren't you?
I fit in that category.
I'm buying it. I'm buying it.
Now, I have a song on there called I'm Not Too Old to Squeeze.
Boy.
Still want to
All right.
touch that thing.
Yes, you are, lady. You're freaking in the bedroom, huh?
A little man in the boat. You got to squeeze it.
I hear you. Mrs. Sal, I know back in the 80s, you Malico came to you and you wrote the song. Was easy to hear one of his biggest hits, something someone else stepping in, and we know that one of
Somebody
your,
else is stepping in.
yes,
That's
ma'am.
right.
We know one of your all-time sellers was Down Home Blues. I didn't know that today that you was the one that wrote that.
I did not write Down Home Blues now. They gave me credit for Down Home Blues on one of the albums.
Okay.
I don't know why they did. Someone made a mistake. But I wrote Stepping Out. Using Stepping Out and someone else.
That's still a good one. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
And when I wrote that song, George Jackson already had written Down Home Blues. And that was the first record. So I was going for the second release of ZZ's hit. So I wrote that one, and it was a monster. Malico heard that. They want to know, what are you doing? And I said, well, I just left MCA Records, and I'm loose right now. I'm not doing anything. They said, well, you need to talk with us. Well, we'd like to record you. So I signed with Malcolm. I told him, I said, but I'm not a blues singer. They said, well, that's all right. We'd write the songs and you sing them. So I started singing. And right away, I went from an R&B singer to blues singer. When they saw my name on Malico, I became an instant blues singer. So I've been blues ever since. That's what I don't mind. Even my husband convinced me. As I got angry because they were calling me a blues singer. My husband said, Denise, do you know how many girls out here singing R&B? So look at all of the rivals you got. Betty Wright, Betty Swan, you got. He just named off people. Gladys Knight and all of them. He said, now, as a blues singer, who you got to fight? Koko Taylor. You know what he said? He said, Koko Taylor. They about the only one out here considered a blues singer. So go ahead, be a blues singer. Who cares? I went ahead with Malco, and I say, call me blues singer if you want to.
You've worn a lot of hats, Miss Denise. You've been a recording artist, a performer, a songwriter, record label owner, and a nightclub operator.
Nightclub operator, a record producer, all those things.
You've worn a lot of hats.
And you're still the queen of the blues. Now, Denise, who was your mentor?
I'm going to tell you exactly who I idolized, Aretha Franklin.
Whoa.
Good choice.
Aretha Franklin. She was young, but she was out there doing it.
Yeah.
She was already recording before I started. I just idolized everything that she had ever done on records, you know. I tried everything in me to sing just like Aretha.
Yeah.
So what you hear on my record is what I did trying to sound like Aretha.
Well, you did a
You
doggone
sound
good
real
job.
good.
My voice
Yes, ma'am.
wouldn't go there. My voice wouldn't go there, and it wouldn't do that. But I did come out with a Denise LaSalle.
There you go. There you go.
Now, Miss Denise, we know you was born Miss Denise Allen. So how did you come up with the last name LaSalle?
And most people think it's because of LaSalle Street in Chicago, but it's actually, that was not it. I was reading a newspaper back then. Mary Worth had a comic strips in the newspaper. There was a column called Mary Worth in the comic strip, just a few lines a day. And they had a girl that came from Paris. Her name was Buffy LaSalle. And when I saw that, I kept trying to think of a name to go with Denise. And I said I was going to use Denise LaSalle, the French actress. Who was very popular. I think she was dating Billy Stein at the time, and that she was a movie star. And I said, I don't want to just be Denise LaSalle. I can't do that. Because her name was Denise LaSalle. And I said, I can't just go LaSalle because I'm going to get sued for that. So I just, when I saw Buffy LaSalle in that newspaper, I said, that's it. I can do LaSalle. It just flowed. It
Right.
came out so beautiful. I said, that's it.
Now, Denise, I know you spent a lot of time in Chicago playing and singing in clubs and, of course, the big blues festival on the
21
lakefront. 21 years in the Chi.
21 years
That's a
of my
nice
life.
run. That's a nice run.
Yeah.
Share with us one of your most memorable moments performing in Chicago.
Ooh. I don't think you want to know my most memorable moment.
Was a man involved, girl?
A man was involved.
And there's a song. Is there a song that we can listen to?
Same man that started me
Lady.
singing.
It be that way
Yeah.
sometimes, child. It be that way sometimes.
This guy was also an artist. He was a blues singer who had been out there and had big records and done that. He was out there with Wilson Pickett and all those other guys, way back in the day.
Uh-huh.
And he was several years older than I, about 12 or 13 years older than I. He got a little jealous, I think. My career kind of took off. He didn't want me to perform with any other band but his band. And they would book me on a show at the Regal Theater on the Jackson Wilson show. But they wanted the house band, which was Red Sanders' band, to play for me, who was playing for everybody in the show. So he got angry and had him kick me off the show. When I found out about what he had done, I talked to him about it, and he said if he couldn't be a party to it, I couldn't do it. And I said, okay, you're going to make me, and now you're going to break me, too. So I just severed the ties between us. And it became a really big thing. He tried to kill me.
Oh, wait.
And, yes. He did, and I put him under house arrest or something. What you call that?
Order of protection against his tail.
But he could have come within so many blocks of me. But anyway,
That's called an order of protection.
That I remember more than anything else, that how I had to get away from him. But you know what's so funny about that? He's become a minister, and we talk on the phone once in a while, It did happen.
Wow. Well, I guess that means, people do change. Now, did you write a song about that?
Yeah.
That was a crazy
No,
experience.
I couldn't think of nothing to write about that. That was kind of something I wanted to forget about.
Denise, when you first started singing the blues, what did your mama think?
She told me, girl, you singing them reels. They called them reels back then. She said, honey, you going to burn in hell for singing reels. That's what she said. And, honey, you know what? The strange thing, I told her about the dream that I had. When I first went down to Chess Records and they asked me to record for them, I turned them down flat and told them I was afraid to stand on stage and sing alone. I couldn't do it. And actually, I was a very sickly person. I worked on my feet all the time, and I had either as a barmaid behind a bar or worked in dry cleaners, pressing pants and dry cleaners. Those are the kind of jobs I had. Everything was standing on my feet, and I was always down in my stomach and back. Was always bothering me. And I had been praying. I really had, because I'm a firm believer in my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I'm a firm believer. But I had been praying for God to show me a better way to make a living.
Yeah.
When this opportunity came, I turned it down flat. I'm just trying to get these songs over to somebody else. I'm scared to sing by myself. But when they finally convinced me to come down there and talk to them and go sign me to the contract, I went back to the house and I just debated. They said, well, you think about it. And actually, I was laying in my bed one night and I had a dream that somebody sat on the side of my bed. And I felt the weight on my bed. And this is really true. I couldn't open my eyes. I was struggling trying to see. And a voice said to me, you asked me for a better way to make a living. Now that I've shown you, you won't take it.
Wow.
And the minute that came out, my eyes flew wide open, and I looked, and there was no one there. And I got up and ran through my 3 rooms looking for somebody, and there was nobody there. It really scared me half to death. I never went back to sleep that night. Next morning, I went to work, and a young man came in that I talked to all the time. And I told him about that dream. And he said, you know who that was sat on the side of your bed, don't you? I don't know who it was. I said, I tried to see. He said, well, who did you pray and ask for a better way to make a living?
Right.
And he said, Denise, that's a sign. Why don't you go back down to Chess Records and take that? He finally convinced me to go back down there and sign that contract. And I went back and signed the contract. And so when my mom gave me all of that hell about recording and singing the blues, I told her about that. And I said, Mom, I just think this is what I'm supposed to do. I said, because I think if I had kept pressing pants in the dry cleaners and walking behind on bars and things, waiting on people, working as a waitress and stuff like that, I think I'd be dead in the 2 or 3 years.
My God.
because I was in the doctor's office, and I mean, I would just from one end of the month to the other. When you're talking about having a cycle, I was on a cycle.
Whoa.
That's keeping it real. That's keeping it real right there.
And I would go off the cycle for 3 or 4 days and come right back again.
Wow. Well, praise God, you were obedient and you answered to the call, and we have enjoyed your songwriting and your singing for how many years, Denise?
Oh, honey. I can't count them. Well, there's Memphis since 1963. Yeah, you count that.
That's the queen of the blues on Blues in the Basement. Thank you so much, Denise LaSalle.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time,
right.
Miss Denise.
May God bless you all.
You
God
too.
bless you, too. Thank you.
you.
All right.
People keep asking me to sing about a good man. Well, every woman out there needs a good man. And when I talk about a good man, I'm talking about the kind of man that'll turn you on, honey, the way you want to be turned on. Because that's what it's all about anyway. A very good friend of mine came up to me the other day testifying about her man. She said, Denise, I have a man that's turning me on so good. I want to give him everything. I find myself begging the man, please, baby, let me be good to you. I tell him, I'll do anything, yeah, you want me to, yeah. Ooh. She said, I really mean that. But you know, another friend came to me testifying about her man, talking about how the man have her climbing the walls every night, quirls in her toes, hair standing up on top of her head. Every woman needs a man to make her feel like that. She said sometimes she even get amnesia. She can't think of nothing to call the man. She started hollering, ooh, no. Ooh, Jesus. She said, Denise, I find myself telling him these words over and over. I never had a love to call my own. I was about to give up, and then you came along and just have your tender ways. You thrill me for days. Now, folks, now I hope y'all don't mind if I tell y'all a little bit about my good man. Girls, I have the kind of man that'll make you reach over and turn off General Hospital and crawl right back up in the middle of that king-size bed. You know, I used to sit around and watch soap operas all day long. Started my morning off watching stuff like The Young and the Restless, Search for Tomorrow, All My Children, and Another World. Yeah. But honey, I found out that my man was young and restless. And just about that time every morning, the man would reach over, pull me in his arms, and put me in another world. And all my children look just like him.